Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 54 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zenith. My pronouns are they, them. I am so happy you are joining me here today on this YouTube channel. We talk about all the things I have been crafting lately, anything I have been reading, though there is no reading this week. I was on vacation, reading did not happen. We also talk about whatever's happening in my life, like the vacation I went on, and also that the World Cup started. We'll be covering those things towards the end of the video. If that sounds like fun to you, go ahead, settle in, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a craft. Let's spend some time chitting and chatting together. This morning, we are in a heat wave here in Massachusetts. It's not as bad as it could be, but it's lasting long enough that the cool air inside my house has dissipated. We don't have central AC where I live. And in fact, we have no AC in my room. We just have a standing fan and we deal with it. And upstairs we have 2 window units, but one of the window units sounds like it's working but doesn't actually work. So we're dealing with it. Anyway, today I am hydrating with some brewed peach mango tea. I brewed this 2 days ago and I drank half of it yesterday, so I'm not drinking a whole 32 ounces of it today. That would be a lot of tea for me, but it's definitely making me feel a little bit cooler when it is going to be 87 whole degrees outside and probably just as hot inside my house. And that's that. I also have some water standing by. But that's hydration. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm looking down to look at my notes. There are no pigs in this episode, no pig parade. I just did not have time to work on any this week. If you're new and you're like, what are you talking about? Usually I spend part of my knitting life making small, tiny pigs that I then keep in little stockpiles. And then I give them out to people in my life who seem like they could use a small, tiny object. I do have a story about pigs. I had given one to the people at my allergy specialist office because I go there to get weekly immunotherapy for allergies. And I had given one to them and told them they had to name him. So they made him a little name tag that says Tofu. And I went to get my shot yesterday once I was back in town. And one of the nurses told me that apparently a different patient saw it and asked her if her name was Tofu. And she was like, no, it's the pig. That is very, very funny to me. I love that. Anyway, there are no pigs. We do have a finished object this week. I did manage to finish something. I have 3 works in progress. Spoiler, we are back to doing 2 sock projects going at a time instead of just one. I also have a future cast on that I want to show you because I'm really excited about it, and I will probably start it by the time we do next episode. I have some more yarn and also a little bit of fiber were acquired, so I'm going to show those. And then, as I said, there's no reading, but I did go on vacation and I did start watching the World Cup, which I am absolutely insufferable about. So I'm going to blabber on about those towards the end. So let's talk about this finished object. I finished these socks and I love them so much. I love the way the variegation has pooled and made it look almost like waves. They make me so happy. These are just my basic vanilla sock pattern. I do 10 rounds of ribbing for the cuff. In this case, I did 2x2. I usually do 56 stitches around on a 1.5 flexi flip. I made these wide, so I did 60 stitches instead. I did 30 rounds for the leg, slip stitch heel, however many rounds I need for the foot, and a square toe. So the main color I used was one of my leftovers, which I actually knit during all of the summer knit-alongs last year is when I cracked it open, and I have used it again to make a second full pair of socks. I forget the exact name, but I know it's from Blue Barn Fiber, and I know it's one of the mermaid colorways. She has basically a collection of mermaid colors. She has like mermaid hair, mermaid kisses, mermaid fingers, and this is one of those, but I don't know which one. And then the contrast color is Knit Pick Stroll, but I also forget what color it is. Hold on. I can check what color it is, though. Blue Sky. I keep wanting to call it Bluebell. It's Blue Sky was the contrast. And yeah, that's these socks. This is my first pair of socks for Charlie's Sock Hop. My second pair of socks for Summer Sock Camp. And it is, it added some points to Alindria's sock challenge knit along. So I'm up to 21 points. And in fact, I actually did it wrong because I forgot that these are a men's size and you get extra points for men's size, and I just did not select that. So technically it should be slightly more points, but it's fine. It is what it is. It was my error, and we're just going to roll with it because I don't want to make it look like I'm fudging numbers by fixing it. So anyway, like, it's not a big deal. So yeah, that's the sock, and it makes me really happy. Yeah, I will say Alindria's knit along is done based on points, like a point system. So it's like you get points for knitting a sock, you get points for knitting one of her patterns, you get points if you knit yarn that is either 2 years old, if it is a leftover, if it is something that you received within the last month, all sorts of different stuff. If you do like a really large men's size, you get extra points. If you knit DK, you get less points. You know, stuff like that. It's designed to push you into like trying new things and working from stash and stuff. So I really, really enjoy it. And the 21 points is not just this pair of socks. I had already had 13 from the pair of socks I finished before that. So yeah, that's my points calculation. And now we'll go into works in progress. And for works in progress, the first one I want to show is the thing that did not come with me on vacation. So it has much less work than usual. This is my current corner to corner project for donation at some point. Am I showing you the right side? I am. The flamingo shows that we were not that far. Hold on. Flamingo. The flamingo shows we did not actually get that much work done, but that's okay because I literally was not here for 4 days. So it's fine. I did say in the last episode that I was planning to work on this last Saturday, last Sunday, and then start the decreases when I came back. I did not actually do that because I decided to do 2 rows of just neither increasing or decreasing to kind of like square out the blanket a little bit more. So today, after this episode, I will start doing the decreases on this blanket. So, yeah. I also, this is a complete tangent, but I reorganized where all of my worsted yarn that's meant to turn into projects for donation blankets. That's what that's called. I reorganized all of it, so I no longer have just like a knee-height cardboard box sitting in the corner of my room looking like it doesn't belong there. I went out and like bought plastic containers and sorted everything, and it looks so much better. I will maybe put a picture. If I was really fancy, I would do it before and after. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm using Brava. Sorry, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but I don't think I'm actually gonna sneeze. I think it's a fake warning. This is my Brava, Knit Picks Brava in the color Clarity. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. It's just basic corner to corner, no real pattern. And that brings us into our socks. I said in the last episode that I was going to bring yarn for 2 projects with me on vacation, and that I tend to pack activities almost as like an emotional support item. Like without any, I'm under no illusions I'm going to finish either of the projects I bring with me, but I'm just like, if I don't bring it, I'm going to be anxious. So I brought 2 yarns with me. I brought Premier Fruits in the color Dragon Fruit, and I brought Premier Farm Stand in the color Purple Basil. That one did not get touched, but my Dragon Fruit, I finished the first sock. Oh my god, it's so cute. It makes me so happy. And then I also finished the second cuff. For this cuff, I'm doing 1 by 1 half twisted rib. So I will continue working on these. I put a little stitch marker here, the little purple duck. That is how much I got done on my 2-day, 4-night vacation. And then everything else was what I worked on yesterday for the first half of the day. And then I decided I wanted to cast on another pair of socks in the evening, so I did. But yeah, those are my basic pattern. Those socks are going to be for me, which is why they look so tiny. I love some negative ease in my socks. So I wear a size 8 that looks like a children's sock. I promise it's going to fit. Yeah, and yeah, I'm really enjoying these. I have these in my Tiny Human Knits bag. The other thing I like about these socks is they are not wool. They are an acrylic, which means I can use them more towards the shoulder seasons. And they also did not make my hands feel gross when I was attempting to knit at the beach. Mostly I was swimming at the beach. What actually happened is when we went to the beach, I, from the outset, just for whatever reason, was like, I don't enjoy swimming. And I am not going to swim. And then the person I was with convinced me to get into the water and go swimming. And once I started swimming, I was like, I love swimming. And I ended up doing so much swimming that I casually got mild sun poisoning, which you can't see because it's only underneath my shirt. Just touching it like that hurt. Yeah, I have like the aloe vera lotion. I've used like 2 inches worth of it since Wednesday night. It is currently Saturday morning and I have not applied any yet today. So yeah, it's going to be a really great tan in a couple days, but final tangent on that note. I was wearing a swimsuit that had ruffles on the sleeves. So I have like literally, it's like a reverse farmer's tan because it's like just my shoulders and my chest that are like absolutely roasted. And then like the rest of my arms, like you can't tell I'm sunburned. But it's, yeah. Anyway, moving on. In my Summer Sock Camp 2026 bag, I started another pair of socks yesterday. And in fact, this is going to be a spoiler, because I ordered some yarn. It came in. It was here when I got home on Thursday. I opened the package to see the colors because I really wanted to see them. And then one of the colors was like really, really speaking to me. And I was like, I kind of want to cast that on. And I'm in the Discord server for Alintria's Knit Along. And there were 3 different cast-ons. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to pick. So I put it to the group. I was like, which one of these do you think I should do? And unanimously, I mean, it was 2 people responded back, but unanimously, they picked this yarn, which is the one I was like, I don't know if I should crack into this yet because I haven't shown it on the channel. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be so decadent. I'm just going to cast it on before I even show it. So I did. So yesterday afternoon, I cast on, this is from Pineapple Fibers. This is the color Lemon Shore Break. And I started a sock. You might recognize this contrast color. I've used it a couple different times on the channel. And I don't remember the name of it, helpfully. I think it's Emma's yarn. But yeah, and I did a little bit of broken rib action on there because I was watching, oh my god. I don't remember who I was watching or what pattern they were knitting, but I was watching someone and they explained that the stitch pattern in the pattern they were knitting was a broken rib 3x1. So it's like a 2-row repeat. The first row you do 3x1 rib. The second row you just knit all the things. And I was like, I want to do that. And so I just stuck it onto this. And yeah, this one I was working on during the World Cup, which started last night. And I was literally like, here before the game. And it was a 2-hour game. But it was good. It was a good game. So, yeah, that's the sock. It is a 56 stitch one. It just looks really tiny because it's ribbed. But I promise it's going to fit. And I did my 10 rounds of half twisted rib for the cuff of this one. Half twisted rib is my default. Unless I'm knitting wide socks, which is when I'll do 2x2. Otherwise, I think from here on out, it's just going to be half twisted rib. It takes longer, which is still annoying, but in the end, it's worth it. So yeah, let's do a little hydration break now that we're through our works in progress, and then I'll show you what I'm going to cast on. I'm going to show you my yarn, and then we'll talk about all the things I haven't tangented on. But first, some tea, please. Okay, so I've been talking for a couple weeks about how I want to make neon heart socks, and I finally wound up the yarn because I had to get the winder out anyway yesterday for the lemon shore break socks. So let me show you. I got a tool last winter that I haven't actually been able to use yet. I just have thoughts about it. So this is a Lazy Susan. And inside the Lazy Susan, I have all my mini skeins. So that when I start these socks, I can just do one to the next to the next. I can just spin it. I'm very, very excited for this. So these are the Malibu Dreams from 3 by the Sea. It's a mini skein set. Still haven't picked my contrast color, but what I think I'm going to do is I have 2 different self-striping yarns that are grayscale. I have one from Lang. I have one from this like Knit Picks Fleechy. Silent Film is that colorway. I don't know which one yet is going to be my victim, but I think I'm going to do stripes with neon stripe hearts. Yeah, I think it's going to look amazing. I think they're going to look just absolutely incredible. And these socks are going to stay in my room when I start them. One, because I don't want to be moving around a whole Lazy Susan and everything like that. I don't want to deal with it. But also I just, the person that I'm going to be making these for is going to be visiting me next week. These are not going to be done by next week. I do not want that person to see them. And they don't watch this channel. They don't know it exists. So I am going to just keep them in my room. They're not going to come into my room. They won't see these socks. They won't know these socks exist. And then they'll randomly get them as a gift for like either their birthday or Christmas. And they'll freak the fuck out. And it'll be fantastic. So that's my goal for those. That's going to be my next cast on whenever I finish the dragon fruit socks. So I'll keep those down in my room. And then my general plan for keeping things straight is I'm going to work on the dragon fruit, first of all, until they're done. But second of all, specifically during World Cup matches, there's literally 3 today, I will work on my dragon fruit socks for all 3 of those. It'll be fine. And then when those are done, I will move my shore break socks to be my FIFA World Cup socks. And I will have my stripy socks, my stripy heart socks left downstairs to be used as like my non-World Cup socks. They'll be like when I'm watching YouTube, because I think that will be better for stranded color work. I've never done stranded color work in socks before, and we're kind of just winging it. The person I'm knitting these for has very, very thin ankles, which is super helpful. Like, I'm not super worried about them not fitting, but well, I mean, obviously we'll find out. So yeah, that is all I have as far as crafting stuff. Let's go ahead and go into acquisitions. It's gonna crinkle. I ordered some yarn from Pineapple Fibers. I was watching Love Sock Wool, and she was talking about Pineapple Fibers, and I was like, their vibe just seems like it's also my personality. And so I went on their website and then, spent money. So on the bright side, I do feel like my inclination to spend a bunch of money buying yarn is pausing. What I really want to do is knit the yarn I have in my room, which is a lot. So I really, I want to knit all the things. I don't want to buy all the things, which is really, really nice. So anyway, I got 3 yarns plus the lemon shore break from Pineapple Fiber. I will take those out in a second. I also picked up some Rologs to spin. I've never spun a Rolog before, but I really, really want to. And so this is, it does not say the colorway on here, but it's very, very pretty. It has like green and lavender and gray and silver, and I'm Very excited to spin it up. And we're gonna cut really quickly just so I can take these out without causing a million thousand crinkles. So first of all, they gave me a pineapple yarn sticker. Love that. They also sent me a white hibiscus and peach green tea from Pineapple Yarn for the actual yarn. On the Nala sock base, I got See Ya Later. That's SEA, See Ya Later. And that is a 2-ply. It's very plump. I like it. And then I also, the other ones are on the Lani sock. This is Island Capiz. It has some really nice blue speckles. And then the final one I got was Pink Palm, which also has some really nice speckles. I've been feeling very speckly lately, and I actually don't have that many speckled yarns in my stash. I have like 3, and 2 of them I've already used in different things. The third one, for whatever reason, it's funny because the third one is like one of the oldest yarns in my stash, and for whatever reason, I'm just like, no, it's not time. It's still got to incubate. And I'm like, how long is this going to incubate? I've had it for like 5 years now. Anyway, so that is all my acquisitions. And now we're just going to talk about life. I went to Savannah, Georgia. And it was amazing. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. We didn't actually stay in Savannah. We stayed on Tybee Island, which is kind of like 30 minutes out from Savannah down this nice little quiet highway. And then you get to this little beach town. Has tons of restaurants, tons of hotels. It is organized so well for a little beach town. Every single street that leads towards the beach has its own access. And they also put really big arches that have like signs that are like 14th Street access and like 15th Street access. And like, so you know where you are. And it just makes so much sense. That's not South Beach. The North Beach is more of like a standard beach style where you just have like the parking lot and the beach access. It also has like a marine center on it. And when you go on that one, they have like umbrella and chair rentals, which were really, really nice. And yeah, we had the best time. We had such a good time. The food was incredible. The beach was incredible. We saw the sunrise. We saw the sunset on the same day, which is kind of a lot. We got to eat barbecue. We got to eat sweet tea 3 days in a row, which I really miss sweet tea, but not enough to make it because I don't want to drink like a full gallon of it. You know what I mean? Got to have shrimp and grits. Got to have Low Country boil. I don't know why I just messed up the word boil. Did not have boiled peanuts, but we did drive past a gas station multiple times, and every time I was like, if I wasn't already so full, I really want boiled peanuts. And then we got to go into a Publix, which is my favorite grocery store. I was just happy to be inside the Publix, to be honest with you. I needed like 2 things, and like neither of them were specific to Publix, and we had just eaten, so we did not need pub subs, which is the reason why Publix is so good. But anyway, oh my god, it was such a good time. And all of the people that we talked to were so friendly. There were so many locals there, which I was not expecting because it very much looks like a tourist town. But tons of locals. We ended up going to the same place for breakfast 3 days in a row because it was just so good. And yeah, I love it. I'm going to try to put a slideshow at the end of this episode. At the time of recording, I don't actually know how to insert photos into the video without the video running. So if I don't figure it out, all of the pictures from my trip are on my Instagram, Sockspouse, which is linked in the description. It's always linked in the description. I just never mention it. So if you really want to see it and the pictures aren't there, that's where you can find them. But yeah, oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. It was such a perfect trip. And just everything about it was just absolutely wonderful. It was so good. Also, my friend let me pick the playlist, and I am as chaotic as you would expect as far as music. So we were playing everything from like Luke Combs to Nelly to Celine Dion to Lil Jon in the car. There was black metal in there. There was Papa Loves Mambo. I made a playlist and I was like, chaos. It was so good. It was, oh, that's the best vibe. So yeah, that was Georgia. Georgia's on my mind. Oh, we also, when we were in Savannah, the park that they filmed Forrest Gump is in the heart of Savannah, Georgia. And so we also picked up some chocolates and tried to sit on the bench, but the bench has been moved to a museum. So we picked a random bench, sat down, and took pictures posing with our chocolate. So, yeah. We also, we went to the Griffin Tea Room in Savannah, which was a delight. First of all, it's in a really old pharmacy from like 1902. Second of all, it's run by the Savannah College of Art and Design. Their hospitality program runs this restaurant. So our server was like literally a child. It's like literally like an 18-year-old kid who was like doing his best. And he like came up to our table and like the very first thing he said was like, "You're my second customers ever." And we were like, awesome, we're gonna have a lot of questions. And I think he thought we were joking, and we were not, because I have a dairy allergy and I went to get tea. And of course, the first thing that happens when you get afternoon tea is they put cream cheese in your sandwiches. And they usually batch prep things because you can do that. It's a set menu. So we had him running back and forth to the kitchen a couple times, but he got to learn a whole lot from us. So it was good. And we were very patient and kind, and we were just having the time of our lives, to be honest. So everywhere we went, oh my God, we were having the best time. Anyway, that is Savannah. That is Tybee. I would definitely recommend. I did get this shirt there with all these like stupid little sharks and stuff. Tybee Island. Yeah. And the final thing I want to talk about, oh my God, the World Cup started, which means my entire personality is going to be soccer until the end of July. I hope you're ready. I hope you're buckled in. I have done this since the 2006 FIFA World Cup, where the World Cup comes on and I'm like fully locked in. If you don't know this about me, my very favorite part of having knitting as a hobby is the sports crafting of it all, the sports knitting. I'm like this with the Olympics. I'm like this, usually in football season, I'm like this, but especially soccer, like especially, it's who buddy. And this year, the U.S. is hosting the World Cup, so it's even more intense. I tried very hard to get tickets for Boston, and I did not get tickets for Boston, but it was not for lack of trying. It's at this point, I feel like I could buy them on like resale now. However, financially, that would be very dumb. So I'm going to just be content and happy to watch at my house. But anyway, I've been watching that. It's going to be a lot of knitting time. My genius and wonderful plan for when my house is not an inferno is that I will spin for the first half of the game, and then I will knit for the second half of the game. My spinning wheel is an e-spinner, and it did come with a warning that if you spin for more than an hour, you are risking the motor overheating. So, which is good for the first half, but also means that when my house is hot, I'm not going to want to spin, because it's one thing if it overheats when it's like 70 inside the house. It's another to run it purposefully when it's like 82 degrees upstairs, which is what it was last night. So that's not going to happen. We're not ruining my machine. So yeah, we'll see how much spinning I actually get done, but that kind of was my plan. And yeah, my teams for the World Cup, I have 3 teams. The first one is Haiti, because they have not even qualified for the Olympics in 52 years, or the FIFA World Cup. They have not qualified since 1974. One of my best friends is Haitian, so I always have a soft spot for Haiti. Things are so bad in Haiti right now that the national soccer team of Haiti literally cannot practice in their own country. They have to go to another country to practice playing because it's not safe, which is crazy. And they still somehow managed to qualify. And then their uniforms got banned because they showed someone holding a revolutionary flag. If you don't know this, the Haitian Revolution was the first time slavery was ever made illegal in the world. they did it before any other country. And it was because it was basically like a successful slave uprising. And then France was like, you owe us reparations, and stole all of their lumber. And now Haiti literally doesn't have a single tree because France was like, no, that's ours. Anyway. And then of course at the World Cup, I'm assuming it was France. France complained. No one has said this out loud, but obviously France complained. It was like, that's too political to have someone holding a revolutionary flag on the uniform. And so they had to change their uniforms last minute, which is just really, just let them have their uniforms. It's been 52 years. So Haiti, I am aggressively cheering for. Like, I want them to do as well as they possibly can. The second team I'm rooting for, obviously the US, because it is like the only way to be safely patriotic in the year of our Lord, 2026. And watching the US do well reminds me of the patriotism I had between like 2008 and 2015. And and I miss that. Also, because the US is a host country, a lot of people who would not otherwise be traveling to the US are currently in the US. And a lot of them are having a really, really fantastic time experiencing America. Like, I keep seeing videos of people from Europe who have traveled here, and they're like ordering food in restaurants, and they're discovering ranch dressing, which I did not realize was an American only thing. Ranch dressing is my favorite dressing of all time. I am a ranch girly through and through. And like, I'm obsessed with ranch a little bit. And people who've like never tried ranch in their lives are trying it like as adults, and they're like, oh my God, this is incredible. And it's like, you didn't know? You didn't know our food is genuinely really freaking good? Like, yeah, food is good in Europe, but we'll make you gain 15 pounds. Our food's awesome. Our food slaps. And that just makes me feel like really prideful and like proud of my country in a really, really exciting way, because that's not really been my vibe lately for reasons I'm not going to say on this podcast, because this is not a political channel. This is about knitting. And anyway, I'm cheering for them. They did so well in their game yesterday. Like, they scored the first time and I started chanting USA, and my roommate turned to me and was like, I draw the line at USA chants. And I turned back to her and I said, well, it's going to be a long month for you. And she rolled her eyes at that. I thought she was going to leave the room. She didn't. And then by the end of the game, they scored in the last 10 seconds and we both were screaming. That's how the first game went. So I'm very excited to see what happens next when they play Australia. Anyway, that's like my main squeeze team is the US. And then the third one is Spain. I have been cheering for Spain as a soccer team since 2010. My favorite club soccer league is La Liga. So I'm the most familiar with the Spanish team, the Spanish players. I've been cheering for them for a really long time. They're like the ones that are like, of the teams that are most likely to win, it's like they're like the one that I can actually cheer for once we get to like the quarterfinals, because Haiti and the US are not going to be there, let's be honest. And then I also just like Spain because I'm, again, like I know I'm familiar with probably half their roster I'm familiar with, and I've seen them play, and they have Lamine Yamal, who is like incredible. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited to watch all of the soccer in it, all of the things while I'm watching it all, just having a good old time, and seeing all the memes, and seeing all the people discover this wonderful country and the ways that it is actually wonderful beyond just the media headlines that will tell you it is absolutely hell on earth, because it's not necessarily hell on earth all the time. It can be both. We can do both. We have multitudes. Anyway, and that is the end of this episode. We're going to cut it off here before I say some more just absolutely silly and outrageous things. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful and fantastic day. I'm going to go turn my fan on because I can feel myself sweating. And yeah, I will talk to you probably next week. We will see. I do have people coming into town, and I don't know what my schedule is going to look like next weekend, if I will actually be able to record or not, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out then. Stay loosey, stay goosey. Have a wonderful and fantastic week. Okay, bye.